Today is World Student Day. आदरणीय महामहिम स्वर्गीय हमारे राष्ट्रपति आदरणीय अब्दुल कलाम जी की ये बर्थडे है। वर्ल्ड स्टूडेंट डे के रूप में मनाई जाती है। उन्हें शिक्षा से बहुत प्रेम था और इसीलिए आज स्टूडेंट्स डे के दिन हम टिप्स फॉर स्टूडेंट फॉर न्यू चैलेंजेस, ये आप सभी वक्ता हैं। हमारे मुख्य वक्ता आज के डॉक्टर सुपर्णा सान्याल मुखर्जी मैडम और डॉक्टर शैकत कुमार बसु जी हैं। दोनों का मैं स्वागत करता हूं इस मंच पर। बहुत बहुत स्वागत। आदरणीय अग्निहोत्री सर से, विष्णु प्रसाद शर्मा सर से उनके स्वागत भाषण की प्रार्थना करता
Namaskar. Good evening to everybody. Hariom. Respected distinguished guests, eminent speaker, ladies and gentlemen. I, Professor Dr. Vishnu Prasad Sharma, welcome all of you to this AYUSH SAMRIDDHI International Webinar Series on tips for students for new challenges. Most important subject today we have. In this webinar, we have eminent speaker. I want to welcome Dr. Suparna S. Mukherjee, Associate Professor and HOD, Department of Education, School of Humanities from Bolpur. Namaskar, madam, and welcome you to this AYUSH Samriddhi webinar series. Next, I want to welcome Dr. Soikat Kumar Basu, Executive Research Director, Performance Sheet, Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada. Namaskar, sir, and welcome you to this AYUSH Samriddhi webinar series. Once again, I welcome all the eminent speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to this important webinar on tips for students for new challenges. Once again, I welcome all of you. Thank you. Namaskar, over to Pawanji.
म्यूट हो गया म्यूट हो गया म्यूट हो गए। अरे तो पूछो जी आपके माइक म्यूट अनम्यूट कर लीजिए।
मैं आदरणीय अग्निहोत्री सर को आमंत्रित करता हूं उनके प्राकथन हेतु और फिर मंच संचालन हेतु, क्योंकि हम सभी शिक्षक हैं और शैकत जी और सुपर्णा जी और शैकत जी के बाद 5-5 मिनट हमारे भी सबके कमेंट्स आ सकते हैं। आदरणीय अग्निहोत्री सर, आदर प्रणाम सर।
धन्यवाद धन्यवाद प्रोफेसर पवन शर्मा जी, आपने बहुत अच्छा बताया कि आज हम ये दिन क्यों मनाते हैं। सबसे बड़ी चीज ये कि हमारे एक इतने प्रिय महामहिम हुए हैं जिनको कितने विशेषण और कितने नाम से याद करें। मूल रूप से शिक्षक रहे और जीवन के अंतिम दिन तक भी वो शिक्षक की भूमिका में तो रहे ही, उसके अलावे में वो मिसाइल मैन कहें, हमारे न्यूक्लियर साइंटिस्ट कहें, उनको हम भारत रत्न कहें या हम भारत के पूर्व महामहिम राष्ट्रपति महोदय कहें, उनका आज जन्म दिवस है। तो एक ऐसी शख्सियत जो भारत में अपने गुणों के द्वारा, अपने व्यक्तित्व के द्वारा हर किसी पर छाप छोड़ गई, तो वो व्यक्तित्व के धनी हमारे महामहिम स्वर्गीय एपीजे कलाम साहब की आज जन्मदिवस मना रहे हैं। और उनकी स्मृति में उनके क्रियाकलापों के प्रति डेडिकेट करते हुए हम आज वर्ल्ड स्टूडेंट्स डे के रूप में इसको सेलिब्रेट करते हैं। स्वाभाविक सी है। और हम जानते हैं हमारे आज जो दो अतिथि वक्ता इस पर विचार देने जा रहे हैं, वो बहुत ही विनम्रता कहते हैं, बहुत ही माने अम्बली कहते हैं कि वो जब स्टूडेंट थे तब तो थे ही, आज वो समस्त विषयों के ज्ञान के सागर हो चुकने के बाद भी इसमें बड़ी विनम्रता और अपनी महानता बताते हैं। जब वो कहते हैं हम आज भी स्टूडेंट हैं और जीवन के और विज्ञान के इतने पहलू हैं जिसमें जब तक जीवन है तब तक सीखा जा सकता है। इसलिए हम सब लोग एक छात्र जीवन के दौर से गुजरते हैं। तो ऐसे हमारे आज के इस प्लेटफॉर्म पर जबकि आदरणीय शैकत कुमार बसु जी और डॉक्टर सुपर्णा सन्याल मुखर्जी जी आई, जो कि आज भी एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट से जुड़ी हुई हैं और असंख्य छात्र छात्राओं को अपनी योग्यता, अपने ज्ञान के द्वारा लाभान्वित करा चुके हैं, उन सब का हम बहुत बहुत स्वागत करते हैं। और इसके साथ ही हमारे लोगों का भी एक ऐसा प्रोफेशन है कि प्रोफेसर पवन शर्मा जी से लेके प्रोफेसर विष्णु शर्मा जी से लेके प्रोफेसर रामवीर जी से लेके और मैं स्वयं सभी अपने जीवन में शिक्षक भी रहे हैं, छात्र भी रहे हैं। तो स्वाभाविक सी बात है, ये एक वो संबंध है छात्र और शिक्षक का, टीचर टॉट रिलेशन जो है, वहां पर बहुत कुछ ज्ञानार्जन करने का दिन रहता है। कभी नहीं कि हम रिटायर हो गए या कभी नहीं हमने सेवा काल समाप्त हो गया, क्योंकि हर दिन नई कुछ जानकारी लेके आता है जो आज तक अखबार में नहीं थी, नए अखबार में आ जाती है। आज एक नया अन्वेषण हो गया, आज ये नया एक रिकॉर्ड बन गया। तो हम सब छात्र हैं, जीवन भर सीखने के लिए इन्हीं शर्तों के साथ में हम प्रोफेसर आज की इस कार्रवाई को आगे बढ़ाते हुए पहले मैडम डॉक्टर सुप्रिया सन्याल मुखर्जी को सादर आमंत्रित करते हैं कि वो अपने विचार से हम लोगों को अवगत कराएं। बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। नमस्ते मैडम। आप म्यूट हो गए जी।
मैं लाइव एग्जाम्पल हूँ स्टूडेंट कम टीचर का सर,
हाँ, ये तो
दोनों ही हूँ
पीएचडी
इस समय।
स्कॉलर है, पोस्ट डॉक्टोरल स्टूडेंट है
हाँ।
और इसका आनंद उठा
हाँ
रहे।
जी,
तो
हाँ जी।
तो ये आज स्टूडेंट के हैसियत से जुड़ेंगे क्योंकि कल उनको इम्तिहान देना है और हम लोग टीचर के हैसियत से जुड़े हुए हैं।
ठीक।
बहुत बहुत स्वागत है मैडम, बहुत स्वागत
Namaste.
है।
Uh,
नमस्ते।
Shubho Sandhya and
रोशन
Vijay and Dasera greetings to the AYUSH SAMRIDDHI platform to all of you. Hope you have spent the puja time is very nicely. I convey my best regards, gratitude to you and your family. A happy
थैंक यू,
Vijay
थैंक यू।
greetings. Namaste. So today's topic, and today is the very auspicious day that Professor APJ Abdul Kalam's birthday. So this is the person, whatever maybe he may call, but I respect him in all form. And he is the person in the every respect. He is a very good person altogether and the pathfinder of the education world. So in that cases, I can highlight that the today's topic, the younger generation, how we can encourage this younger generation in present day context. So if I can identify it and divided our curriculum stream, like the science, commerce and arts, all of this amalgamated with various types and various intricate matter, which is very highlighting and interesting. Our 2020 education policy also emphasizing the interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary research and the teaching learning process. When the each and every students are all found, because if we have look back to our ancient time, that time the students are qualified in every respect. They know the everything. So that's why the younger generation now, it has been very lack in our curriculum system because there is no moral education system. There is no curriculum development to some extent, the Ayush, then yoga, then the Unani. So these the systems are lacking in our system, but in the 2020 policy, it has been incorporated, and we have seen that there is another part of education like the Indian knowledge system, which is very important, and the universalization of the education, which is needed for this present juncture. And this is giving us the proper feedback for the younger generation and new generation. That new generation is very accessible to the internet platform, to the getting the any opportunities, any information accordingly, and they can get it within a fraction of second. But at the time when there was no internet system, so it is very impossible to get the gathered knowledge very easily, and very it is very impossible to access the worldview. So but the today's generation can develop their worldview according to their knowledge and courage. So young people are basically hugely influential in the demographic world, and they will be the future development of our. They are the pillar of our nation, and they are the backbone of our nation, of which we can develop, and from the developing country to we can reach to the developed country. Yes, there is several subjects. There is so many subjects are incorporated in this curriculum system in the stream. There is several schools, like schools of bioscience, schools of science, schools of humanities. So many are there. So many subjects has been incorporated, and it has been innovated. Those so many subjects, but the subject is there, but there is no curriculum, definite curriculum process has not yet been incorporated, but we are trying for the best, and that way we can look into the matter, like we can say that our new generation is the jet generation, so we have to develop according to their quality and quantity. It is fact that every individual has to some extent the special talent. So this talent has to be counseling the school level, then when they are entering into the college level. So that's why it has been developed 5+3+3+4 system, and it is a very easily and accessible from the 17 years education to 15 years education. It's so this process is developing, and we can explore our students, the younger generation, for the betterment of their life. So there are 10 tips which I can share on this platform, and for the new generation, wherever they are, they can be incorporated accordingly. First is, do not token test. So whenever, whatever they are knowing and understandable, they want to know. They don't. They are very superficial. They don't get into it. So they are trying, and they are making themselves very easily. So they would not do anything, but they want the feedback. So it is not possible for that. That is the tokenistic attitude. This token attitude, that means they are not incorporating themselves, so they should not be tokenistic. They should be get into the matter, they should understand the matter, they should brand this particular system, they should develop themselves, and they should incorporate accordingly. So then they can get into the matter, and they can solve any problem by themselves. So they're not needed any kind of help from any personalities or any types of any social learning system, or they can develop by themselves according to their way of career aspects. And then the second is the build the foundations for a long-term relationship. So long-term relationship, when the foundation, we have seen in our childhood, we can recall the poems which we have been taught in the class, and we can recall the point, because one very basic thing is that we cannot forget our school days. So till the death, we can recall our school days, but that is the days, that is the platform, that is the way of life when the child is rearing up and child is getting there, and school going child is developing their character. So character building used to start it at the school day from day one. So need to be understand the younger generation where they are, which means that where they are, whether they are the system orientation, whether they are the knowledge base. Just someone has the interest in art, someone has the interest in commerce, someone has the interest in science, and they do it by themselves. It used to come because no force over there. If any child cannot good in the mathematics, so they can be good in the arts and culture. So there is no force. It has come generally, and accordingly. So this counseling is needed from the day one when they are get into the school, and school will give the mental health, develop the mental health, develop the right targeting to ask for direct ways to get them involved in a place banding and the development orientation, development process. This also means being more authentically engaged on a regular and real time where they are build their relationship accordingly with the parents, with the teachers, with the friends, with the society, with the neighbors, and everywhere. So this is the time to start their educational process from the day one. Next is to lead with your values. Lead with your values. So you have to recall, and we have to rebellious and questioning the status quo. What has been incorporated to you, and which family you are coming for, and which schooling you are doing for. So the today's young generations probably have more reasons than most to agitate for this change and be less inclined to believe traditional development orientation, because they don't are not interested to know that what is the tradition, which tradition they are come from, which the background, which is the family culture, which is the family tradition, which is the society's tradition, which family they are brought up. So they have to be incorporated. The cost of this living, they are only incorporating themselves in the employment prospect, and mental health intertwined with the bigger affect and bigger attitude for this the issues such as this the what the changes is going on, what is the demographic orientation, what is the climate changes going on, what is the social justice to become burning concerns for the generation, Z generation, which is if there is any agitation, the Z generation should be developed. They should be incorporate their views, they should involve themselves, and they should bring the changes in the society, which if there is any evil, so this is the judgment, that is the social justice by themselves, they have to incorporate in the society. Accordingly, declining the house ownership, this as well as the respect for physical and mental health, and the respect to the elder generation, respect to the weaker section like this. If the male candidate should respect the female candidate. So this respect, if incorporated from the day one, there should not be any kind of any agitation, and any illegal activities should have been incorporated in this world. This is the social world. This justice has to be done by started by the family, from the school, from this college. So this value education and the what is your value, because if they have done any kind of crime, the crime is not taught from the family. So any child is born not like the any kind of the crime orientation, and they are not the criminal. So that the senses should have been incorporated from the to the generation in the day one. So they should be valued their education. They should be taught the humanity, what humanity is needed for the society to cohort their achieve their personal goals and tackle the world's big challenges to a local level. And these postcard attractions are less interesting to the group from which they have been demonstrating their places values, showing that they have stand for and values the demonstrating social and environmental impact with tangible results. So this is very important for them to the value education. Next, the embracing their activism, what activity they are doing. So each and every child should go for the game like the football or cricket or table tennis or long tennis, whatever game. So if they have in the physical activities, they can generate and they can get the more oxygen. They should be more accessible to their place and to their standing situation, and they should know there is no defeating. So everyone, there should not be any suicide case may happen if the younger generation can embrace their activism. So there is no, it has been observed that the suicidal rate in India is every month there is the 150 to 200 child and children has been suicidal case has been incorporated. But there should not be any kinds of suicide. There should not be any defeating. There should not be any kind of, you have the power to own your race. If you have failed to some extent, if you can win the other extent. So this is the, by acknowledging this dynamic situation, this the dynamism, the genuine corrections, can be the uphold and cultivated through social media, an integral component of the modern day, and to develop a brand that resounds with their values, addressing their concern about conflicts, climate change, and economic issues is also paramount. Loud voices in tandem with the tangible reasons which resonate with the youth. So this is needed for that. They have to claim their legitimate right with the loud voice. So this should be the practice, and this should be the incorporated in each and every child from the day one where they are starting their education. Then champion inclusivity. So each and everyone is a champion in their own place. It has to be incorporated in their day-to-day activities. So you cannot be failure. You should not be failure. Failure is the pillar of success. So essence of capitalism, the younger generation in the places where you are living and we are living, and the strategy, the development strategy lies in the profound understanding of why authenticity and inclusivity matter. So Z generation should be one of the millennials. So you have to be incorporate, and you have to be giving the digital interconnectedness and the social connections such the demand more from the bands they engage with. So they should be, they should know their sophistication, understanding of branding and social dynamics. They advocate for a world where differences are celebrated and voices are heard, and your brand must be a beacon of acceptance and genuine capital and digital connectivity. In the world overwhelmed with the curated content and the filtered experiences. And let's see the real stories, real people, and real experiences that reflect their values and aspirations. And this champion inclusivity, advocating for diversity of the social being, diversity and equality also. In the realm of the modern branding, authenticity and inclusivity are not just buzzwords. It's instead embracing these values is a powerful testament and the powerful test moment and to your commitment to resonate deeply with the situation, the discerning and the tastes of younger generation, the foster genuine connections that endure and shape the cultural landscapes of the tomorrow. So younger generation should be incorporated this value education accordingly to the yoga and the all kinds of development orientation. Next is showcase the quality of life and you can offer young people. So quality of life, they should incorporate, they should know the big persons and their lifestyle when they were there is a storybook like the when the big person was small. So when the small people and how they become the big, there should be the real stories and they should be the incorporated, they should know the real stories of the big personalities and how they become the big. So each and every day for them is the development orientation, and they should know the culture, they should know the tradition, they should know the socio-cultural aspect, they should know the value the culture, they should value the people especially the elder ones, especially the female, those who are the, in the society, they are the weakest sections. So we should help them instead of destroy them. So this should be the quality of life should be incorporated in the younger people. And then the leverage technology to reach the young people. Leverage technology is the through all the brand materials, like the if you go for the physics, what is the possibilities and probabilities, you should know that. And the communication in general, one must meet the audience where they are, whether we like it or not. Young generation, they should know that they should testify their life situation in each and every aspects of their life. They should know the bad, they should know the good. If they should not know the bad, they cannot realize what is the good. This testimony they had, this technology orientation, they should give the leverage of this pattern. If without a computer they have to learn, and with computer they are learning, so both the cases, like online and offline situation, they should know, and they should be experienced for this dynamism. And the prioritize authenticity and personalized experience. So what is the prioritize authenticity and transparency in your brand messaging? That is the young people value real experience over the polished or stacked content. That is the personalized experiences. So when they are presenting any kind of material like this, any essay, when they're writing, there should be a presentation strategy, and that is not any the gossiping and not any the superficial aspect, but there has been the authenticity, which give them the more attraction in the society at large. The visuality and appealing content, how they are appealing. So they should be groomed in the day one life, when they are interacting in the people, how they have to talk, how they have to give their presentation, how they have to attend their quality of life, how they have to attend the experiences. These they have to incorporating from the school life only. Don't fall into the trap of trying to be trendy. So there is so many trap. One size fits all strategy. One size fits all strategy. A lot happens between the ages, especially in the age of the 15 to 35. So the start with your main aspect, like the which subject you are incorporating, and what the acumen do you have to think about it, you have to explore yourself, the subject basis, and the not the that's why the 2020 policy is incorporating the interdisciplinary. So in that case, if someone is specialized in the social sciences, they must have the knowledge in the other sciences, the commerce and the arts. So all they have to incorporate, and they should know it. So the reading capacity, then the online searching, the social media learning, all are very interesting for this matter, and genuinity is developed through this process. And tap into cultural moments, especially the fandom, when the development of the young people is concerned. When the young people is developing, so they have the main strategy. We should not give them the load. So which load they must have the capacity. The capacity is also necessitated for this the developing of this young people. And when they are fathom it, when they fathom the social conditions, the social aspect, the social behavior, social adjusting, that's why the behavioral science is also very important for this purpose. So they can develop themselves. The jet generation can be engage themselves. They should be energetic. They should be they should be experienced from their everyday aspect and everyday curriculum process. And this are the very important points, which is very very needed for their day-to-day life, for the development of socio-cultural, socio-economic, techno-economic, and everywhere is technology is orientation is needed. And technology, if they understand the technology, they can develop by themselves. So in this aspect, I can say that really it is a very good innovative way of talking, an innovative topic that Ayush has been giving to explore on it. I really thankful to the Ayush Samriddhi, because Ayush Samriddhi is also innovative, and today's life Ayush has been rejuvenating, because the younger generation have no senses of desire. But Ayush was famous in the earlier section. There is no pathy system, but Ayurveda, so which is based on the Vedic system and the Vedic Upanishad and the Purans. So these are very scientific and very important for the younger generation, and they should be incorporate the Ayush and Ayusham than the Ayush Ayurveda for their curriculum system, so they can be learned from the basic system. So basic the grassroots level. From the grassroots level, they can be develop themselves by the all kinds of aspects and all system which is needed for them, for the younger generation, the J generation. Thank you very much. Thanks to giving me such an opportunity to share on this IRES platform.
थैंक यू वेरी मच सुपर्णा जी, थैंक यू वेरी मच। आप जब बोलना शुरू करते हैं तो वो कितनी स्पीड पकड़ेंगे, वाह ग्रेट। एक बार बोलना शुरू करते हैं तो आपके अंतर्मन से आवाज निकलती है, बहुत अच्छा। शुभ विजया, शुभ पूजा, अभी शुभ लक्की पूजा भी आ रही है। आदरणीय अग्निहोत्री,
बहुत बहुत अच्छा लगा, बहुत
आप
ही
म्यूट
आपने
हैं।
ये खुला है। आपने बहुत ही अच्छा बताया। न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2020 वाली है, उसको आपने अच्छे से हाईलाइट किया। अभी दृष्टिकोण ये है कि कितना भी डिग्री वाली पढ़ाई मिल जाए, जो हमारी एक सोशियो कल्चरल एजुकेशन है, जिसको कि हम दूसरे शब्दों में संस्कार भी कह सकते हैं, या मॉरल एजुकेशन है, उसकी भी नितांत आवश्यकता है, उसकी भी इम्पोर्टेंस डे टू डे और बढ़ती जा रही है, क्योंकि उसके तहत ही हम कम्युनिकेट कर पाते हैं उन विचारों को, उन संस्कारों को नई जनरेशन। तो बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका। इसके साथ ही हम अपने आज के अगले अतिथि वक्ता डॉक्टर सैकत कुमार बसु जी को सादर आमंत्रित करना चाहेंगे। बहुत बहुत स्वागत है उनका। नमस्कार।
Thank you, Agnihotri ji. Thank you, Sharma ji. Once again, happy Dashera to all of you. Madam has made such an outstanding and excellent presentation, giving the philosophy and the core values of education system, and also explored the NEP in such a nice way that it leaves very little space for me to add few things. But as I always try to do, I'll not like to overlap the things that she has already said, but I would like to highlight few important points based on the perspective of National Education Policy 2020 and some of the misleading, what you call it, the myths that are associated with NEP. It needs to be broken, and it needs to be looked at a very positive angle and the opportunity that it brings for the next generation of the students. Meanwhile, I was so impressed by Madam's presentation. As always, may I request Sharma ji and Agnihotri ji that we have to honor Madam with the title of Gyan Ganga. Like when she starts, it's almost like a Ganges flowing with lots of knowledge. And so I think her students are extremely fortunate to have her as a teacher. And she's also the head of the Department of Education at her university. And what a best person to have as the head of the education, as the Gyan Ganga in providing the Ganges of knowledge for the education to the students. So thank you, Madam, very much. You not only enriched us, you inspired us a lot. Now, highlighting about the NEP, to tell you, NEP has been formulated by the government of India after a lot of consultation. Like there is an aberrant feeling and there is some misinformation spread by some communities that this is a foreign system that has been placed on the Indian education system, that it does not take into consideration of the Indian realities and stuff, and is trying to push in and integrate foreign educational system, foreign values into our integrated education system. Now, the first important thing that is to realize, wherever you go, like the people who talk so much bad about United States of America, America has lots of bad things, no doubt. But I have seen that these are the people whose son and daughter first apply for visa for USA at the first instance, whenever the opportunity is provided. Why is that? All these political leaders who talk so much negative about anything new that anyone tries to initiate are the first one that likes to go to US or other Western countries and stuff for their kids, for all their, for all their family members and stuff, education abroad. And while the same education or the better part of the education, when it's being attempted to integrate into India, there is a kind of a uneducated protest against that. My point is to figure out that this UN, the national education policy, is not just a random thing that the government of India has initiated. I have been associated with this. The government of India has not only initiated experts all across India while formulating this, but they have consulted experts in all other countries, particularly from the Western countries, Western universities. We have been invited, we have been given feedbacks from, there were conferences, there were discussions where points were raised, good and bad points, things of Western education that can be integrated into Indian education, which we think is valuable for in the Indian education system, is important. Now, what is the Indian education system? The student need to understand that we have long time back kicked out our traditional education system, and following the footsteps of our British colonial masters, we adopted a British education system. That education system was generated not for creating geniuses, not for producing scholars, not for producing independent thinkers or philosophers or scientists or poets or lyricists or an outstanding social scientist. This was designed, the curriculum during the British colonial period was designed so that they can train a set of clerks, so that they can rule in India efficiently and more effectively. It was not possible for the Britishers to provide British officers in every aspect of their administrative job. So a section was opened up, and then higher positions were also opened up to include people of Indian origin with English education in background to take those positions so that they can help in the process of British administration. They were not guided towards producing geniuses. Now, the outcome has been this. If you visit UK today, you will see that the British education system that we have inherited, and we are so proud of it and has followed for generation after generation, is not even followed in UK. The English education system or the European education system is also more or less guided towards the American system of education. There is no doubt that United States is a big country. They have one of the finest universities of the world. And there is no doubt that so many people in various disciplines of science have contributed humongously in the United States, not just USA, in Europe too. But because of these huge contributions, the things have changed, and the focus of education system from the Eurocentric stuff has become very North American centric, or in any other words, it is USA centric. So the modern Western education that we see now across the world that is building up, whether it is Montessori education, nursery education, primary, secondary, tertiary, all these levels of education are more or less geared towards the American system of education. The Canadian system of education is also geared towards the American system of education. Now, are there no loopholes in the American system of education? There are. No system is perfect, but that system has efficiently generated countless productive individuals that has shown to the entire world that they are the masters in almost every discipline, whether it is agricultural science, medical science, social sciences, humanities, etc. Harvard University, that we are so proud to say the name, is not famous for any science and technology, engineering, or medical sciences. It is most famous for humanities and social sciences subject. So it is famous as an arts university for many of the students, whether in the discipline of political sciences, international studies, or history, have contributed significantly to the global system of knowledge with their outstanding quality of research. They have one of the highest endowment in the world, $750 billion. No other university in any other country has any endowment. There is no scholar. There is no tuition fees in Harvard. They provide scholarship for everything from buying a book to your clothes is provided by the Harvard University. The only requirement is you have to be the best in your field. Their examinations are crazily difficult. Amazingly, people turn mad while cracking their questions and stuff and things like that. But other than that, it has walked through generations to produce one of the most outstanding university. Now, while talking about this, why this is important, just like we cannot ignore the importance of dollar as an international currency, it is impossible for a country like an emergent power like India to undermine the education system of the other countries. And while we are talking about through business, through our geopolitics, through our travel, tourism, and everything, we are slowly transforming into a global village. We could not deny that. So it is important that Indian education system is revamped and internationalized so that we fit into the same standard as the Western education system. For example, this 4-year undergraduate degree program, we have it in agriculture, medical science has a few more 4.5 years, engineering has, other technology, all BTech courses have. Why should BA, BSc, and BCom, the general graduation, have 3 years? Why not 4 years? Because this is the international standard. Even Pakistan, Bangladesh, Maldives, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Nepal, all these countries have 4 years graduation. But there has been a tremendous resentment in various Indian universities that we have nothing to provide for a 4-year undergraduate courses. No. The idea was the undergraduate courses would be 4 years, postgraduate 1 year. And if you have a certain distinction at your undergraduate level, you can get into your PhD level directly. There is a limitation of 75 or 80% grade. If you score that, you can even cross your masters and get entitled into a PhD program once you will qualify in the national or the state level eligibility test for lectureship as well as for fellowship provided by the government of India or the state governments. So under these circumstances, we need to understand when we went to foreign countries for degrees, we had to do another master's there, another MS there, because our 3 years master's is not considered equivalent or a complete undergraduate degree. So 1 year from the postgraduate, 3 years of undergraduate, 2 years of postgraduate in case of general science. So they would consider 1 year taken out of your master's to add it to your undergraduate degree to make it equivalent to the 4-year undergraduate degree for the entire world. The whole world is following this system. India is one of the few countries which is coming to 2024 to introduce this batch of studies for this 4-year undergraduate studies. They are saying that it is important to have more consolidated, high quality undergraduate education than even your postgraduate education, because it is at this level you are formulated, whether you can go for research, whether you can go for a job, whether you can develop your skill. This has to be decided at the undergraduate level. Compared to Western countries, for popularization part and stuff, there is ornamental degree of, domination in India. So many private universities, so many colleges open, so many postgraduate seats and PhDs. We have to ask, based on our population, definitely there are deficiencies in specialization in some subjects and some discipline and areas. But as we are having opening PhD programs and master's program in so many disciplines, whether do we need so many PhDs? Do we need so many unrestricted master's degree? Because what it is doing, it is devaluing. If you go into many municipality or corporation interviews nowadays, you will see that even for the position of a peon or a chaprasi or even for an Ardali or Darwan, PhD candidates are applying. These does not happen in Western countries. These cannot happen in a civilized country where a highly qualified individual is applying for a low-paying job because he could not find any job based on his qualification. So it has two questions. Either the quality of research and PhD in India is very you can give 2 million PhDs per year. That does not mean that the quality of PhD has enriched. The number of PhD degrees granted in India has increased. The number of PhD seats in various universities, both government and private, has been increasing. But whether the quality of the research is increasing, it is very important for students to know. One of the tips for the student I would suggest is, just because your friend is doing a PhD, you don't have to do a PhD. You may have thousands other disciplines to work, thousands other opportunities to work. Just because someone else is doing or someone else in your family has done, don't get into your PhD program. You may be wasting your career. So look into your attitude, look into your interest, look into your skills. And the last but most important part that we need to talk about the national education policy is multidisciplinary studies, whether it is in medicine, whether this is in Ayurveda, whether in homeopathy or in other areas. Only knowing your core areas and knowing nothing else is not education. But the only university that one time that provided this concept was the Vishwabharati University of Rabindranath Tagore, where they had the legacy of liberal arts education included. Whether you are studying science or arts or social sciences, you have to take some basic science courses, has to take some basic arts courses, have to take some basic social science courses. This is the formulation of education system in the entire world. Whether developed or underdeveloping, India is doing this after a very, very long time. We are in educational progress, in quality of enrichment of education. I would say we are 30 to 50 years behind even our neighboring Bangladesh or Pakistan in system transition. This 4-year education system has been done at least 20 years back or 30 years back. That we are doing in 2024 is a matter of great shame. We need to upgrade our education system to meet the international standard. The entire world has 4 years degree. Even in our country, technology programs has 4 years degree. Why should we have a 3-year degree program? What is the value of having a general pass course? Like either you specialize or whether you do not specialize, whether you will have a 3-year or a 4-year course. Like once you complete your 4 years degree, the university decides whether you will be given an honors on that particular subject, whether you will be given a distinction on one particular subject with these minor subjects, depending on the performance that you have done, taken 20 courses that you have taken during these 4 years or stuff like that. This is how honors is generated. The way of generating honors in this country, or the way this is being given, is not very relevant to the Western education system or the global education system now. The credit system of education that has now been introduced all over India has been introduced 40 years back in other countries. It is only recently that it is being integrated in the last 10, 15, 20 years. The credit system of education has been incorporated by UGC, and now we do see a reflection of that across various universities. And it is sad to see that even till this day, full professors across many universities do not understand what is difference between percentage and percentile when they are grading. They do not have the idea of how they are grading based on their percentile score, how that percentile score and stuff these varies, or they do not even have a clear idea of this, like, where to start and stop for honors and these general courses. So there needs to be education and awareness of the teaching system too. I believe that India started the national education program in India without actually training the teachers who are doing, will be imparting teaching to the students. So one of the things that the government should have taken a 1 year, 2 year transition period, training teachers, professors at the school, whether it's a primary, secondary, or tertiary level, train them for this new modification that we are going. What happened was that because this jolt came from the board, people thinking that this is a very alien system, they are having difficulty in adopting the system. But this system has a lot of integrative qualities that we need to understand. And last but not the least, the education policy talks about multidisciplinary education. In India, if India is lacking in research quality, one of the lacking huge area is multidisciplinary research. There is very poor quality of multidisciplinary research, or almost non-existent multidisciplinary research system in India. While in Western countries, you will see that humanities, social science, engineering, technology, all are working together on various projects. In case of India, humanities go back, like history departments are working on this old traditional historic way. They are not incorporating the modern science of archaeology in improving the quality of their research, improving the quality of their paper. Same appears in many areas of science. Biology needs improvement, and it needs the help of physics and chemistry to design their tools, to understand various chemicals better that could be used in drug designs and stuff. Although many new departments have come in, but there is still a huge dearth of knowledge between what is required or the skills development that is needed than what is generated in our education system. And at the end, I would say that while India has a young growing population, the world around us are showing a trend of old age. Say, for example, of Japan. The age-old population in Japan has become so significant that they are becoming a heavy pressure on the resource of the country, as well as the same time, they do not have enough young people to carry over their industrial maneuvers for the next year. Where will they get these new people? India stands at this juncture. If we are trained according to international system, if our education system is standardized according to international practices, hundreds and thousands of our students who are getting frustrated by not getting jobs in India will have lots of overseas calls. But your education and your skills development need to match. If you get an opportunity to work in Japan, you cannot do a work there by doing chaplacy. Like, you have to know your subject in depth and detail. So this is where I say that know your subject very well, know the skills, learn the steps, be very clear, be very outlandish in understanding your basic concepts. Once you internationalize, once you make your education global, you will get calls internationally. It's time coming in many countries across Europe, many countries coming across Asia, many countries across North America. The aging population has become top heavy. So at the bottom, they do not have enough young people to continue and sustain their industry. How will these countries survive? They have to have immigrants. They have to have people trained in other countries to come and work in their countries, either temporarily or permanently, based on the opportunities that will come up in the next time. So there is a lot of good things in the new education policy that has been implemented. Please look into the philosophies, try and understand the basic. There has been various guidelines that are provided, which are not clear to the student, which are not clear to the professors, not clear to the university faculties too, who are imparting this education system. So our schools, colleges need to understand. There needs to workshop organized by experts in helping people understand NEP 2020, so that we can implement this at our primary, secondary, and tertiary level more efficiently, to create a student force, to create a workforce that will not only cater to India, but will cater to other countries in the world which need young hands to sustain their economy. And this is a win-win situation for India, because whoever goes to work outside will be having remittance, will be bringing foreign exchange for India, will be building networks, will be have a soft power in those countries, take Indian cultures to other countries, and establish and helping India a great global nation. With this, I once again thanks the organizers for giving me this presentation, and I look forward to again participate.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you
very
so
much,
much,
Dr.
Sharma ji,
Khattar.
Agnihotri ji, and all
You
the
are a
participants.
speaker. You both are a speaker in next webinar also. So we would like to have conclusion from Ramveer Sharma ji before Agnihotri ji. Ramveer sir, a brief opinion or conclusion. फिर नेक्स्ट वेबिनार चेंज करते हैं.
यस सर, बहुत जानकारी मिली हम लोगों को. मेरे ख्याल से आपने जो टॉपिक दिया था, मुझे जहाँ तक याद है कि टिप्स फॉर द स्टूडेंट टू लर्न, ऐसा कुछ था. मगर एजुकेशन के बारे में क्या क्या हो सकता है, बहुत जबरदस्त बात खोल के कह दी कि पीएचडी आदमी होने के बावजूद उसके अंदर इतना स्किल नहीं है कि वो अपना काम कर सके, और प्यून के लिए वो लाइन में लगा हुआ. हमारी एजुकेशन सिस्टम की कमी है, और कमी किस लिए है कि हम मैन बिटवीन टू स्टूल, दो राह पे खड़े हुए हैं. मैं इधर जाऊं या उधर जाऊं, बड़ी मुश्किल में हूं कि किधर जाऊं. कि मॉडर्न अपने टेक्नोलॉजी अपनाई जाए एजुकेशन के अंदर, या भारतीय टेक्नोलॉजी अपनाई जाए. चलो, ये बहुत बड़ी चर्चा हो जाएगी. मैं स्टूडेंट्स को कुछ टिप्स देना चाहता हूं आज. अबुल कलाम आजाद जी के एक स्टूडेंट थे, वो टीचर भी थे. उसी तरह से हम लोग भी सभी स्टूडेंट हैं. ज्ञान पिपासु की वजह से, ज्ञान पिपासा की वजह से रुकते हैं, सुनते हैं. आज अपने स्टूडेंट्स को कुछ टिप्स हैं. सबसे पहली टिप्स है आत्मदीपो भव. आप स्वयं ही प्रकाशित हुई. बड़े बड़े एजुकेशन के जो सिस्टम है वो आपको प्रकाशित नहीं करेंगे. अच्छे अच्छे जहाँ पे वो कोचिंग चलती हैं, वहाँ कुछ लड़के ही जो आत्मदीप होते हैं वही सक्सेस होते हैं, बाकी के सक्सेस नहीं होते. दूसरी बात आती है दीप ज्योति प्रकाशार्थम. अगर आपको ज्ञान प्राप्त करना है तो निश्चित ही अपने आप को प्रज्वलन करना पड़ेगा, ज्वलन करना पड़ेगा. अपने आप को प्रकाशित करने के लिए जलाना पड़ेगा. जलाने के देने के लिए क्या चीज चाहिए? एक स्नेह चाहिए, एक पात्र चाहिए। तो सबसे पहले अपने अंदर पात्रता पैदा करनी पड़ेगी। पात्रता कब पैदा होगी? जब अपने आप को आप स्टूडेंट ही समझते रहोगे। अगर आप गुरु को गुरु नहीं मानोगे, आपके अंदर यह अहंकार आ जाएगा कि मैं ज्ञान चाहता हूं, तो ज्ञान नीचे की तरफ प्रभावित करता है, तो पात्रता पैदा करनी पड़ेगी। दूसरे अपने आचार्य चरक से बाहर कोई चीज नहीं है। किस तरह से पढ़ा जाए, शिष्य के अंदर कौन कौन सी चीजें हों जो पढ़े, तो उसके लिए बहुत अच्छी बातें कही हैं। तो एक बात मैं कहूंगा कि विद्यार्थी को क्या क्या करना चाहिए, जिसकी वजह से विद्यार्थी को टिप्स हैं जो वस्त्रेण वपुषा वाचा विद्या विनयेन च, 5 हैं ये। वस्त्रेण अपना ड्रेस, एटीट्यूड ऐसा होना चाहिए, ड्रेसिंग ऐसी होनी चाहिए जिससे आपको मन अच्छा रहे। मन ड्रेस के ऊपर चलता है। अभी जस्ट बात की थी कि राहु के अंदर इस तरह का वस्त्र धारण करना चाहिए, काले वस्त्र धारण नहीं करने चाहिए। बहुत बड़ा असर पड़ता है इसके ऊपर। वपुषा माने शरीर की एटीट्यूड कैसा होना चाहिए स्टूडेंट का। वाचा यानी उसकी वचन वाणी कैसी होनी चाहिए। और विद्या विनयेन च, बकारे पंच भी युक्तो नरो भवति पूजित। ये 5 बकार से इसका पूछता है। और विद्या के बारे में कहा गया है, विद्या ददाति विनयम, जब तक विनय नहीं होगी तक विद्या नहीं आएगी। विनय में आती पात्रता, अगर पात्रता पैदा करनी है तो विनय प्राप्त करनी पड़ेगी। तो स्टूडेंट्स को विनय रहना चाहिए। चरक ने बहुत सारी बात की है, उसके ऊपर चर्चा कर सकते हैं। मतलब तीसरा एक टिप है, कृष्णोय लोको बुद्धिमता आचार्य, जो आपको जो भी सिखाता है उससे आप सीखिए। तीसरा डॉक्टर साहब ने बहुत जबरदस्त बात कह के गए हैं। अभी हमारा सुश्रुत कहता है, एकम शास्त्रो अधीनानम, एक शास्त्र के अधीन मत रहिए। मल्टीपल अपने जो एजुकेशन है उसको अपने धारण कीजिए। अकेला इतिहास वाला वो अपने उसको नहीं देखता है, खगोल को नहीं देखता है। तो इतिहास वाले को वो भी पढ़ना चाहिए जिससे उसको प्रूव कर पाए। और लास्ट में अपने आचार्य जो कह गए हैं उसको तो कहीं छोड़ ही नहीं सकते। अगर विद्यार्थी के अंदर 5 लक्षण नहीं है, अगर उसके अंदर ये टिप्स नहीं है, तो विद्यार्थी कभी भी ज्ञान को प्राप्त नहीं कर सकता। काक चेष्टा बको ध्यानम स्वान निद्रा तथा अल्पाहारी ग्रह त्यागी विद्यार्थी 5 लक्षण। तो सबसे पहले आत्मदीप भव, दूसरा कृष्णों को बुद्धिमता आचार्य, तीसरा 5 गुण विद्यार्थी के वो पैदा करें। और अपना परिवेश निवृतम अवेशम परिच्छेद, ये अपने चरक कहता है। अपना जो स्वभाव है, आपका व्यवहार है, आपका अपना शरीर का एटीट्यूड है, आपका वेश है, वो इस तरह का बनाइए जिससे आपका मन लगे पढ़ने में। ये इतनी बात कह के मैं अपनी बात को समाप्त करता हूँ। बहुत अच्छी बातें कही है, भारतीय संस्कृति के अंदर पढ़ेंगे। ये एक चीज और, वेस्टर्न कंट्री के अंदर के जितने भी स्टूडेंट पढ़ रहे हैं उनको वो मानव नहीं बनाते। अच्छे डॉक्टर बना देते, अच्छे इंजीनियर बना देते, अच्छे साइंटिस्ट बना देते, मानव नहीं बना पाते। तो उसका परिणाम क्या होता है कि बच्चा स्कूल में आता है, बंदूक लेके आता है और 3-4 को मार देता है। हमारे पब्लिक स्कूल के अंदर भी यही हो रहा है, मगर किसी भी संस्कृत पाठशाला के अंदर अभी तक क्यों नहीं हुआ। तो इसका परिणाम ही ये है कि हमारी पाश्चात्य संस्कृति की जो विद्या है वो थोड़ी हिंसा की तरफ ले जाती है। और हमारे यहाँ हमारी जो सांस्कृतिक भारतीय पद्धति है पढ़ाने की, तो हमारे यहाँ इंसान पैदा करती है। भले अच्छे साइंटिस्ट नहीं पैदा करती हो, साइंटिस्ट होना खतरनाक है, मगर इंसान होना खतरनाक नहीं है, सभी के लिए, प्रकृति के लिए और देशों के लिए और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
थैंक यू सर वेरी मच अग्निहोत्री जी। टू कंक्लूड, आई एम चेंजिंग माय नेक्स्ट वेबिनार फॉर सकतन सुपर्णा जी फॉर ट्राइबल लाइफ चैलेंजेस। आदरणीय अग्निहोत्री,
थैंक यू प्रोफेसर पवन शर्मा जी।
हमारे पास ये 2 ही प्रखर वक्ता ऐसे हैं जो अपनी स्पीच बिना टोके टाइम पे एक्सीलेंट खत्म करते हैं। आंख बंद करके शुरू करते हैं, घड़ी भी नहीं देखते हैं, लेकिन टाइम पे परफेक्ट करते हैं। ग्रेट अग्निहोत्री,
बहुत अच्छे अच्छे विचार आए और ये बात हमारे दोनों प्रखर वक्ताओं ने सामने रखी कि हम वर्तमान जिसको हम भारत कह रहे हैं, इसमें जितने भी दूसरे प्रकार के